The other record is all right. So I was trying to explain how to prevent tailgating. Tailgating is typically somebody following behind without your authorization and attempting to enter into the place. And the example I was giving is respect to keys. If people had keys and they were trying to open the door with the key, what I want to advise is whoever has the key should use their key to enter, because each time you use your key, there's a record of you accessing the building. Right. So what you want to do is to ensure that to prevent tailgating, ensure that everybody use their login credentials to go into a particular place. So this tailgating normally occurs with people who have organizations that have some access method which requires logging in. Could be biometric, fingerprints, cards, and all of those. So ensure that nobody, once you use your fingerprint or use your card to open the door, make sure no other person enters. If the person is entering, tell the person to use their card, close it, and let the person enter. So that's how to prevent tailgating, right? I think it was Mohammed who was asking. I think I don't know if that's clear enough. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. So super. So let's go ahead now. So most of the cards that we have actually, or most of this stuff that we use, requires some form of radio frequency capabilities, right? Things that actually, respond, with checking a database against your record. We have these cards. The kind of ATM cards that we have till today are still cheap. We have chips. We don't have most of the ATM cards or most of the cards that we use, which are either debit cards or credit cards, in this climb. Very few of them are radio frequency, have RFID, radio frequency identity in them. So a great number of them actually have chips. And so we are still in a large degree safe. But there are places where you just have to tap a card with NFC technology. NFC is near field communication. You just touch a particular device and then is able to, what's it called now? Translate the communication between that card and that device into the details it collects. And then, it tests that information against a database, maybe connecting to InterSwitch and the rest of them. So attackers can also use social engineering techniques to impersonate employees or any other authorized user to enter a building by just creating their own badge and attempting to trick other users into letting them into the building. Right? They could even go ahead as much as when you watch movies, sometimes they have a way of cloning these cards. And the best way to do is to just add a particular feature into the database so that each time that card is checked, right, the database confirms that it's there. Now, these guys who check, or the system that checks, doesn't have the intelligence to tell this is a fake or a phony. Its only work is to check if what it is looking at exists in the database. So all I need to do is to sneak in a particular entry into the database. So there are two things that need to be worked here. You need to ensure that there's a thorough check, right? Apart from even the card, it should carry a face, the department, and a particular identity. Like I learned something some days ago about how our plate numbers in Nigeria are numbered. I didn't know. It was quite revealing. And it has changed my perspective of looking at plate numbers. And I understand why certain law enforcement agents actually target some kind of numbers. And I used to wonder why. Now I understand why. Right. So with the kind of education that I have now, I know things about plate numbers to a large degree. In the same way, people who actually work in your security places or people who stand at doors that allow people to enter, this is looking at physical attack. Right. Because we're saying if the person cannot use tools, they cannot gain access to the network, they might just want to, come into your network physically and drop something that they can go back to the network to connect to. Some of you have seen the movie Kandahar. Okay. If you have not seen the movie, try to see it. It's typically like that. It's like a movie mimicking what happened in some years ago between some parts of the world and Iran, when some people were trying to, sabotage Iran's nuclear base. Typically, the records show and they capture it as Stuxnet, but there's a movie about it called Kandahar. They added a lot of, theatrics around it, but then it's just saying that since the nation that wanted to attack Iran couldn't do it physically, they had to send people there through telecommunication or radio, TV, something installers to clip or to compromise the network. So you want to ensure that whoever is coming to the place has proper authorization and is a member of staff. Otherwise, they'll compromise you, right? So let's go on. Social engineering tools, the tools that we use for social engineering. One of it is, or let's look at it this way. So we're going to look much later when we get to module 10, which is the last module. So most of what we're doing right now is a build up. We're looking at getting everybody back on base till the point where we get to the to analysis, where we look at the tools and how to do code analysis. We learn about tools that can be used in penetration testing. For now, let's take a look at a few examples of the tools that can be used in engineering. Okay, so social engineers toolkit set, or so the social engineers toolkit is actually a tool developed by this guy called Omar, right? Omar's good friend, David Kennedy. And the tool can be used to launch numerous social engineering attacks and can be integrated with a third-party tool and frameworks such as Metasploit. Metasploit is also a toolkit that is a tool, is it a tool? Yes, a tool that's also available and can be activated inside Kali Linux. Okay. So to download, let me put this link. I'll put this link in our group. Let me put there. Hold on. Let me just quickly put it there and put it in our group so that you can actually go ahead and please do it on your laptop, I beg. Right. So what you're downloading is the Social Engineers Toolkit. So this is the link to it. Let me quickly drop it there. I'm dropping it there now. I think I've just dropped it. So please ensure that that is the tool. I've dropped it there. So use it. You download that to follow. The following steps show how to easily create a spear phishing email user set. Okay, so launch set. Set is the social engineering toolkit. By using the set toolkit command, that's the command, set toolkit. Then step 2, select one, social engineering attack. The number one is the social engineering attack. From the menu to start social engineering attack, then select spear phishing attack vectors. We're going to list the things that you want to use. Right, then create a file format, payload automatically select 2. So all of this is already preset. We're going to go ahead to explain a lot of it as we advance. Okay, so this is typically what you want to do. So set gives you the option to spawn a command shell on the victim's machine after a successful exploitation. It also allows you to perform other post-exploitation activities such as going ahead to spawning a meter-preter shell, Windows reverse VNC DLL, and all of these things. And what's it called? They are files. They are directories.